Hey guys, my name's Ravi Sharma and thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Search Property TV. I am the founder and buyer's agent at Search Property, and I wanted to take you on a journey of my latest purchase, a case study of the numbers and what really attracted me about this particular purchase. It is definitely something that we can help you with, and that's, as a buyer's agent, that is our job, is to find incredible deals for our clients. So I wanted to take you a bit of a deeper dive into what a property could look like. This was an amazing purchase, and what's important to know, it was off market. So what that means is that it never came on realestate.com, it was never on Domain or any of the other sites. It was literally me calling up the agent because I've had a relationship with her. Professional relationship, I thought I'd clarify. I don't know her, apart from the fact that I've seen some of her properties, I've seen some of her socials, and we keep in check. She knows what I do. So I gave her a call in regards to a property she had listed. And so I spoke to her about that, and she said, look Ravi, this property is available, blah, blah, blah. She gave me the numbers. 2 hours later, she gives me a call and she goes, hey, look, Ravi, you're gonna have to act really quickly on this one because the deal is amazing. And I said, okay, walk me through it. So she tells me that the agent price, so it's not online yet. The vendor has literally picked up the phone and called her. So she goes, look, her price, right? She was saying you could pretty much pick this up for 280K to about 315K. I said, okay, that's the price range I'm looking at. Tell me a bit more. So she tells me that it's a duplex. So there's two sides to it. So it's a duplex and it was built about 30 years ago. Now, this is important here. With duplexes, a lot of dual occupancy homes are getting sold off the plan, newer purchases. To be honest, I stay away from anything that's new. I stay away from new builds purely because there is no market value per se for those properties. So when a new property gets sold to you, they don't directly ask for commissions from you as the buyer. What they do is they get money from the developers. So although there's no commission and people are selling these dual occupancy homes predicting that you could get 6 or 7% rental yields, sometimes it's on land that hasn't even been registered yet. So just be very careful. And as I say in all my videos, this is all educational. This is general advice and I'm trying to help. So I'm just part of the mentoring journey. Okay, guys? So this duplex was built 30 years ago. And what the vendors do, they're basically under their company, they go and flip properties. Now, basically what that means is they'll go and buy a house that needs some renovations, cosmetic renovations mostly, and then they go and renovate. So they've completely renovated the property, and now they're looking at selling. So I'm gonna have some pictures here now that I'm gonna show you of exactly what this property looks like. So a lot of people have been asking me, hey Ravi, the properties that you're saying you're gonna buy or help us buy, they're like 200,000. Do they look like shit? Clearly you can see through these pictures, it's brand new in terms of renovations. From the outside, it was a brick home. So those are the stuff I'm looking for. So she goes, this is the price. And then based on my research, obviously I've got the address now, I can do some research, and the price that I was getting at is about 335K as the market value. So straight away, I know the agent has gone and given me a price that she thinks is indicative of what the market value is. She's pretty much been guided with this number because it's been given to her, just put on her table and gone, hey, can you help us out? The vendor in this situation, either one, doesn't know that the market value is really looking about 335. So he's looking for a quick sale because they need their money to get moved. They've obviously in the flipping game. So what they do is they try and get the cash to then go and renovate another property, get the profit out and do it again. So maybe there's been a link here where they can get here quick deal. So they want to sell under market value, or they simply don't know. Right? They just want a quick sale. They're saying, hey, look, that's what we think it is. And a lot of people are in this boat where the vendors are as uneducated as maybe the agent or even the buyer themselves. And so as a buyer's agent, me getting a call like this, I am just licking my lips going, how quickly can we move? So I've gone, I understand that the market value is there, but you know what? I know there's a bit of room to move. They're desperate. So I've gone in, we've done the negotiating, blah, 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 and I've secured the deal, a purchase price of $260,000. And I haven't even told you the best part yet. So we know that we bought under market value. So even if the market moved by 5 or 10%, let's say, you know, due to the virus, maybe there's a movement of about 5% because there's people uncertain about what's happening, I've protected myself, okay? But the best part in all of this was when she was on the phone with me and she said, hey, look, Ravi, the numbers do work out great. The property looks great. It rents for $260 a week. And I was like, that doesn't really make good numbers, doesn't make good for reading. And she goes, no, it's $260 per duplex side. So there's 2 tenants. They individually have a 3-bedroom on this side, a 3-bedroom on this side, and they're individually renting. $260 on one side, $260 on this side. So now I'm going, I've just come across a gold mine here. I need to act really quickly. So I got really excited and I said, okay, let's do the numbers. This is what I do, a feasibility report. Pretty much breaks down all the numbers so that I understand, as well as my client knows, exactly what you're gonna get in terms of dollar value in your pocket. The best thing here, and I always try as much as possible for the properties I'm buying for myself or for my clients, I'm looking at buying stuff that already has a tenant in there. I'm not interested in, oh, we predict or we forecast a rental return of this. No, I'm asking for what are we getting today, okay? So, we understand that the purchase price was $260K. I then took out an 80% loan. So my loan was $208,000, okay? My repayments at 3.18%, I was doing P&I, right? So principal and interest. I'm at a different phase to most of you guys in terms of the first phase being acquisition. I'm pretty much at that point where I'm getting into consolidation. If you don't know what that means, you need to get onto a Skype session. We need to have a chat about where you're at and assess your financial position, okay? So at 3.8% principal and interest, I'm paying $809 per month. What's important to note here is that includes interest plus principal. So if I continued paying this, in 30 years time, it would be free, okay? That's important to know. So this, during a year, would end up being $9,708 per year in repayments, okay? So that's your repayments there. So we'll just put repayments there. And then you have rates and insurance. Now, because there was 2 sides, it's slightly more expensive. So the rates plus insurance was another $5,000. So my total cost to hold this property is $14,708 per year, okay? Now, keeping in mind principal and interest. So technically, it's costing me a lot less to hold. I just need to pay the interest component in terms of a cost. So I've gone, okay, great. Now, let's look at the opposite side of the spectrum. We know what our costs are. We now are looking, it's rented. It's tenanted already. The tenants have been in there for a year, right? And they have then signed, I said, look, I'm happy to go ahead with this deal, obviously, but I need them to sign on for another 12 months. Because I don't want this to be like a situation where they've come into the suburb to work and then they're gonna leave. And that's why we're getting such a high rental rate. Obviously I did comparables, so I knew that it wasn't the case. So they signed up for 12 months extra, okay? So the rent I'm getting here is equal to $530 per week, which equals $27,560. Now that's my income. That's my expense. So my cash flow is obviously positive, is this number minus this number, which equals, what is it? I've got here is 12,852 a year. Now that is an amazing deal. If you looked at it as a rental percentage, a rental yield, it's anywhere from about 10 to 11%, okay? So meanwhile, while you guys are sitting there with your $50,000, $60,000 cash in your bank, because you're too scared to do anything, I'm here earning 11% return in a suburb that has a growth prospect forecasting anywhere from about 6.8% to about 7%. So just get that in terms of context for what you're doing. Here, the amount I've actually had to outlay was $52,000 plus my stamp duty, plus a few other costs like pest and building. So in effect, I'm spending about $60,000. So your $60,000 will sit in a bank account and earn you 2% maximum. So $60,000 in a bank account at 2% will get you 1,200 bucks in the year. Great, good job. That is 10 times as much as what you're gonna get sitting in a bank account because you were too scared to do anything, okay? So here's the best part, all right? You ready for this? We're paying principal and interest, okay? If I simply went and put this money back into paying the loan off quicker, okay? So we've got $12,000 extra a year to play with. So every month, instead, I'm gonna put in an extra $1,000. It's gonna cost me $0 to hold, right? The entire purchase cost me about $65,000. I then, with the rent I get, I'm gonna now keep paying down my mortgage, right? So an extra $1,000 a month, per month, which is coming straight from the rent. So I've still maintained my lifestyle. I'm not doing anything differently. I'm just going, cool, man. You wanna pay me? The rent comes and I just increase my repayments and I keep paying it off. That means in 9 years, I would have $0 of loan. So it's debt-free. And I'll be making $25,000 per year in year 10. Guys, I'm not making this stuff up. It's what I've got, and I know these numbers work. So when it comes down to you guys trying to maybe question whether these things are worthwhile, whether it's something I could just do myself, well, you wouldn't have got this call. You wouldn't have found it online if you even found the suburb I'm actually looking at with such growth prospects. So the growth alone would have been 6.8% to 7% every year, compounding. But the fact that I'm getting 10 to 11% rental yield, bought under market value, and you've seen the pictures, I'm just gonna pop them up here for a second. They aren't properties that are just gonna break down because they're just purchased for less. You don't know what you don't know. And if you're looking at a market like Sydney, where you're spending 500 to 700K for a property, most likely a unit, when I come to you and say, hey, you can buy a duplex for like under 300K, you're automatically thinking it's of less value. It's not built as well. There's something wrong with it. And that's where I'm saying this part of education, of mentoring, is why I'm teaching you that there are other ways to find financial freedom. Guys, if I bought 4 of these, I would have to pay, let's say as a client, you tried to go ahead and said, hey Ravi, look, I'm gonna buy 4 of these from you. Your expense would be about $45,000. I'm gonna pay Ravi. Okay, but I've now got 4 of these, and in 10 years, purely on cash flow, I'd be making 100K per year, and you could leave your job. 10 years, guys, 10 years. Now, I'm not saying every single property will have numbers like this, but what I'm saying is you wouldn't have even known about a deal like this, right? If I wasn't a buyer's agent, I don't get that call, which means I don't purchase a property like this. And this is where I say, take proactive approach to understanding your financial position. We're at a time where we're gonna see the massive upswing in property prices, irrespective of what the media says. I'm gonna have another video come out soon. But guys, if this is something of interest to you, if this is something that makes sense to you, contact me. We need to have a chat. You can book a call down. There's a link in the description below. You can download my ebook. You can see how I did it. But basically, I want you to take some action now. short video just about a case study. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.